Hermes, what are you doing? How'd you even get in here?
The window. Anyways, I needed to use your typewriter for my intense Angel Ross / Ground Terror Les Miserables fanfic.
Couldn't you use, I don't know, your own laptop?
I wanted to get the authentic vibe. Aria, do you not understand anything?
Listen, that film wasn't even historically accurate. They missed out major parts of the French Revolution.
Like what? I know all about Louis XVI and all that. At the end of the day, we've got nothing but nothing.
Hermes, I can feel my ears bleeding.
If I could have been cast in that movie for pure passion over singing talent, I would have been John Valjean himself.
Well, who's to say that Russell Crowe was cast for singing talent? Anyways, you're missing the point. The French Revolution all started with France's war debts, which caused major poverty.
At the end of the day, you're another day older. And that's all you can say for the life of the poor. It's a struggle, it's a war.
France needed to raise taxes, but not everyone agreed. So King Louis XVI set up the first meeting of the Estates General in 175 years. Society at the time was divided into 3 estates. The first estate being the clergy, which was made up of both the rich and the poor. The second estate was made up of noble families, and the third, the lowest and poorest class, was made up of peasants and middle-class workers.
Wasn't like 95% of the population in the third estate and like they didn't have any rights or anything?
That's exactly correct. Too bad none of this was on the AP World History exam. Anyways, the French citizens went to the king saying that they wanted a unified estate, but Parliament shut them down. On June 17, 1789, the Third Estate completely separated and declared themselves a national assembly.
Wasn't there something about a pastille? Like, isn't that a British pastry?
No, you're talking about the Bastille, which was a prison. It was stormed on July 14, 1789, and that started the revolution.
Didn't they all like become anarchists or something?
Not that kind of anarchy, Sid Vicious. By August, the National Assembly had created the Declaration of the Rights of Man, which spread across Europe. This gave people the idea of freedom, equality, and rights under law. They destroyed feudalism and established the nation-state as the primary source of political power. They opposed the current form of government, but that didn't mean they started to dye their hair and wear spiked boots.
Wait, where does Marius and Cosette play into all of this? What about Sacha Baron Cohen? And I'm pretty sure Catwoman and Wolverine were in there somewhere.
Although Victor Hugo may have taken a little inspiration from actual events, you have to remember that it's fictional. It's not like Harry Potter's real either.
What?
Parmes, back to the history lesson. The French citizens really drove the point home by beheading King Louis XVI and his wife, Marie Antoinette, 2 years after the National Assembly ratified the Constitution.
Oh, I know all about that. Sofia Coppola's version of Marie Antoinette is one of my favorite films, of ever.
Parmes, do you know anything apart from what you see on the television?
Well, I do study for my history test by watching Doctor Who. That's how I know that there are dinosaurs in outer space, and that Cleopatra was actually a fugitive time traveler.
Please tell me you know something about the Jacobins and the convention, right?
Yeah, the National Assembly ratified the new Constitution, and then the convention took over as the new government, right?
You got there eventually. I knew you weren't completely stupid.
And the Jacobins?
The Jacobins. I spoke too soon. They were a group of radicals who destroyed the monarchy and made the new convention.
Radical, dude!
Okay, let's leave it at that. I think you and I have both had enough history for one day. Why don't you go home and try to study this stuff on your own?
Viva la Revolution!